is again coming up, and if there is any provision at all, if at all, that would need a change or correction somewhere in the charter, let us all cooperate and maybe suggest to whoever is control perhaps there what would be the changes that would redound to the benefit of this country. I hope that it will remain that way. The chances are they would come up still, which has always been the excuse to open the charter. I do not want to put forward anything that might, ayaw ko na lang mag-speculate. But if there is any change coming up, well and good, we should welcome it. But doon lang, I hope it would not rumble on to some other matters aside from the economic provisions that they would want to amend, change, correct, rectify. Pero ako talaga up to now, I am still in wonderment kung ano yung why in heaven's name but there's always that economic provisions na hindi makorek-korek noon pa. Well, that is the usual convenient way of saying things, but leave it that way. I'll go along with it. As long as we stick to the economic provisions, whatever they want to change there, somewhere, somehow. Yun lang ang akin. That's the long and short of this press con. Wala naman akong ibig sabihin. Maybe that I just wanted a big crowd. I have been out in circulation, very far from the madding crowd. So, from time to time, gusto ko kayong makita. The dialect, it would be something like, gimingaw ko ninyo. Huwag mo humingaw sa ako. Mula, may na maklaro ta ba kay... so yun lang. Hanggang doon lang ako. For the nonsense. So, kasi andyan naman rin ang the progression of things. So, I would not want to go ahead, forward, and, overtake ka sa which may or may not come. Parang ganon lang.
Well, it seems like you're not really 100% sure kung if we can trust these people na mag-handle. What if sa gitna ng sinasabi nilang economic lang ang tututukan, biglang na-open yung charter at yung constitutional change natin at biglang pinasok yung terms nila at yung personal interest nila. What shall we do and what can we do? And what will you do?
Well, ganito yan. Whenever you open the Constitution for changes or amendments, you cannot place restrictions or conditionalities na hanggang dito ka lang. When you open a charter change, it's plenary. Hindi mo sabihin mo, we call for a constitutional convention or we call for a constitutional constituent rather, becomes a congruent constituent body by Congress, a people's initiative. Whatever it is, hindi mo managyan ng restriction. Because when you open it up, it's all for the taking. Plenary talaga yan. So, you cannot place restrictions there.
So it's possible na biglang may isang congressman tatayo and ay sasabihin niya, I move to
to extend our terms like that.
May biglang gumano.
Kaya ako nandito Kaya nag-uusap dito. Not only for any particular office in the Constitution. Ito namang local offices, local government offices are not mentioned in the Constitution. They are defined by one single phrase there about local governments, which will be organized in accordance with law. Ang nasa dyan lang sa Constitution is the President, the Vice President, the Senators, and Congressmen. The rest ng mga barangay captain, wala na hanggang mayors and governors. We are all, we are public officials, but we are ruled by the local government code. It's not a constitutional office. Yung constitutional offices are those mentioned in the Constitution. So, yun ang, well, that's why ako nandito. Sabihin lang na kayong mga congressman o senador, huwag ninyong pahabain o paiksiin yung termino ninyo. Let it be where it is. Kung magsabi 6 years ngayon o ganon, hanggang dyan lang. Now, any changes that you may want to put forward for posterity, you may do so right now. You can begin by the legislation, then could lead up to the opening of the charter for changes and amendments, but it should be progressive. Ibig kong sabihin, tayo ngayon, kami, wala na pala akong sa picture It's presumptuous, but you know, you tend to forget. Hindi dapat kami, we should not benefit from it. Any changes making it longer, shorter, okay lang siguro. Pero longer by mahirap yan. Congressmen, senators, and all. but it must be purely motivated to improve the interests of government and country. It will never be used when you are the incumbent, dapat nga sa lahat local officials. Alam mo kasi, you should be allowed to resign 6 months before. Precisely to deter you from using the resources of government to fund your candidacy. Governor man, mayor, alam mo na, you will have a lot of advantage if you do that. Fair is fair. Wala naman tayong ano dyan, but this is the democracy. Rotation dapat. Now is the time for Bicolano to be president. Maybe tomorrow from the southwestern part of Mindanao, which would be Zamboanga towards Pulo. I would even relish an Ifugao president. Torno-torno tayo, wag natin suluhin. Hindi maganda kung magsabi, one term, only, period. 2 terms, tapos barred forever, pero sundin natin. Tayo na ilagay sa posisyon natin ngayon, yung batas na yun should bind us. Isa lang, dapat isa lang. Yes, sir. Dennis.
Kung ikaw na ang karoon sa posisyon nila, kung sa'yo ang ngayong dapat i-amenda sa 1987 Constitution. And secondly, ano sa may tabo na po na itong prayer rally sa Luzon?
The second question is clear to me.
The second question is, kano sa na po may tabo na tayo himuon ng prayer rally sa Luzon?
Wala, I do not think that yung first question is irrelevant naman yun. Kung sa imoon, wala naman akong nakita sa horizon na any attempt to circumvent, go around, or anything na hindi maganda. I just want to we live on our time. Kung saan tayo dinatngan ng swerte natin sa buhay, ng Constitution, and your destiny, nandiyan lang tayo. Because this is what a democracy. Do not tinker cyclic movement of a democratic state. Do not introduce something which is foreign or not aligned with the original intentions of those who made the charter. Sundin lang natin yung the intention. Kung ginawa 6 years, 6 years. Now, kung nandiyan ka sa 6 years, diyan ka lang. You want to make changes, make it another successively, wala fine. But you should not benefit from it. That is really what democracy is all about. Yes, Kaduwaya.
Sir, what made you change your mind? Previously you said no for DI, no for tinkering the Constitution. What happened?
Change my mind.
Change of position.
I never changed my position because there is only one position. Hindi naman ito kama. Ang ano doon is really, there is only a term limit of, I said, you should bind yourself to where you are or where you are placed. At or is. I don't know which the proper one.
So you don't want a president when he spends term in office. So same with the senators.
Again,
You don't want a president, a president or any president.
it's obvious. That's why the Constitution says one term only. So you do not have the privilege of being elected again. You just follow the intent ng gumawa ng ating Constitution. In other words, do not, I mean,
Good. Mayor, they are saying after the Cebu prayer rally, it changed a lot in terms of perspective vis-a-vis the People's Initiative and the constitutional discussion per se. Why?
no, I've always been a stickler to, you can, if there's a record of a history of my public life stint in government, I've always been consistent. Ayaw ko yung, I never crave for any order than what is given to me by law at that time. Wala akong,
If you were to suggest what provision, what economic provision in the 1987 Constitution should be amended, what would that be?
I don't care if you make the economics libro dyan sa, huwag mo lang pakialaman yung Constitution. Saksak mo na lahat ang economic provisions ng libro ng encyclopedia kung gusto mo. Let us not, beat around the bush or find excuses to just, huwag na tayo magbulahan dito kasi matanda na tayo. We've been long in dito sa gobyernong ito, tumanda tayo. Nakilala kita, naka-short pants ka pa lang. Nagkaalaman na tayo dito kung sa badya, labad-labad ka man sa asking questions.
Sir, Vital, you're saying that you're fine except the term of office. So if you are fine, which one should be amended? And which part of the economic?
Wala na, kasi dapat doon, kung na-elected ka doon lang. But if you can do it na i-amend mo, but the problem is, if you amend the Constitution and you are the incumbent president, you have all the resources to get what you want. Kaya mong bilihin pati yung barangay captain. So, what result would you want? Huwag na tayo magbulahan dito sa Pilipinas. Sabihin mo, ipadaan natin ng referendum, plebisito. Bilat. Kung gusto ng presidente, the resources are there for him to utilize. Pagkabobo naman niya pag hindi mo matalo basta. Whatever it is, a referendum or a plebiscite or a result of a votation or whatever.
Are you saying that if you are going to amend, it's going to be a done deal because he is the president?
I am saying that it's not the time to make changes in the Constitution. The Constitution is good, very good, the best that we have ever produced. Do not
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
During your
Ang
message,
imong kanibang imong anam guon mo magsige ng kadako ng yawa.
sa ibang message dito sa Cebu rally, you've mentioned na you will support for the changing of provision as long as President Marcos will commit to the people that he will not run again. Is it a challenge or...
No, it is a reminder that even presently you are not supposed to do it.
What if hindi niya...
Ayan nga sinasabi ko. Well, bahala siya. But you begin to tinker with it. Yan ang sabi ko. Do not tinker with the Constitution. Don't. Don't. Other amendments, fine. Pati congressman, pati masama talaga. Ano? Wala. Ganito na lang. Gusto mong baguhin from ngayon 6 years, you make it 10 years for one term. Maganda. Pero baka sa panglatlong dekada na yan, huwag ngayon. Kung meron man tayong gawin, hindi para sa atin, para na sa mga ating anak. Huwag para sa atin, kasi yan, that would trigger a lot of friction in society. Magkakaroon ng inita na eh. And hindi lang man tayo, buti sana kung kami lang mga politiko. You have to deal with the population, you have to deal with religion, kasi ang religion naman, you have to deal with the military, you have to deal with the police, you have to deal with the security guards, you have to deal with the CAFGO. Puro may armas yan eh.
Let's, Tim, you're raising your hand a while ago.
Sir, you have mentioned that you supported President Marcos in the economic chacha. Could you give us a rate from 1 to 100?
Kanang bintana, layo lang yawa. Tugnaw. Mga tugnaw doon mo na luspad na gani. Okay? Pero ito.
Sir, pwede niyo po magbigay yung rating na 1 to 100 yung support niyo po kay President Marcos when it comes to economic chacha?
100.
If you are going to rate this presidency against the proposed chacha, what grade will you give it?
The proposal for what? You have to have, you know,
Economic chacha now.
If you make me choose something, make a face on the other side. Cha-cha.
Yeah.
Cha-cha, well, okay. Walang problema. As long as I said, do not tinker with one particular sentence there about the presidency.
Yes, Roy.
Mayor, we got your point on the term limits, that you would be okay with it for as long as it will benefit the current officers. That's the term limit. How about the form of government? What's your take on it?
I'm comfortable with the presidential type of government natin ngayon. It's a Republican form of the government, presidential type. Huwag na natin palitan kasi yan yung naabutan ng lolo ko, naabutan ng apo ko. Huwag na natin yaga-yaga. Kung wala nang may ibang putang kayo, kung wala na kayong ibang pag-isip, magpunta kayo doon sa likod ng bahay ninyo. Tingnan ninyo kung walang tao doon. Alam mo kung ano ang gawin ninyo? Bahala na kung anong gusto mo. Huwag kayo kung maubusan kayo ng ideas. Bakit mo ibalandra dito yan sa gobyerno pati sa tao? Ilang beses ba tayo mag-fix ng Constitution? There was a a flawed one. Okay, we may change it. What else? What needs to be done? Something else? Good. But not the prolonging of the barangay captains, nor of the president. Not good. Kung meron man, i-apply yan.
Si Ruth muna. Ruth.
Mayor, ang source, encoded po sa allegation from a Senate resource person at the Senate inquiry alleging that you and Vice President Sara Duterte received a bags of guns from Astro Pangulong.
Kami magtanggap ng baril kay Pastor Kibuloy. Ako pa ba ang mag-deliver sa kanya ng kanyon bukas o machine gun? That's a very stupid proposition. It's silly. Bakit man si Pastor mamigay ng baril sa akin? Saan siya magkuha? Kung magsabi siya wala siyang baril, bigyan ko siya. I have about almost more than 500 firearms registered. Collectors category ako eh. Ibig sabihin, bili ako ng bili pero hindi ko magamit. I can only use one. I can carry a gun, only one of the entire collection, maski mag-abot ng 50 million. You are only allowed by the authorities to carry one gun, not even a rifle. Hunting, maybe. Shotgun, okay. But military hardware, no. Wala nga ako eh. All that I had before was military, pero MR. Because sitwasyon, alam mo na, mayor ka, punta ka ng bukid, hindi mo na malaman kung sino yung kalaban mo. Hindi mo talaga alam kung sino ang gustong gorgor sa iyo.
Only 500 cars.
Ako?
Yeah.
Wala eh.
Collection. Because it's you have one? Even if it's collection.
Yes. Hindi ka collector kung illegitimate na. Collector is collector. You collect and collect and collect. Hindi ito BIR. Collection ng firearms ito.
Okay, Alan.
Mayor, inline sa statement ni Pastor Ramon Bibuloy, nagtago siya because yung life is under threat from the CIA. Second take, inay mga CIA terrorist position.
Well, I could not really say that I can validate his statement independently, yung salita niya. But what I can say is that maybe somehow his life is in danger. Alam mo, ang kaso niya sa Amerika hindi naman dito. Wala naman kaso si Presidente, si Pastor Kibuloy dito. He's free to move around. And the process there extradition. So it's a long process.
Rendition.
Hindi rendition with a military. Extradition. This is also treated.
Willing siya magpa-extradite, but hindi siya gusto extraction.
Malit na kaso yan. America would not go into that. America would not waste its time violating a law na ano.
Is that attending to the session ng Senate could lead to his arrest? Is it possible, President? Papa-arrest na siya ng hindi siya dumadalo, nag-attend sa Senate hearing?
Sino?
Si Pastor Tibuloy. Papa-arrest siya kasi pinapaimbitahan siya, isusomo na siya. If he doesn't really appear, pwede ba yun? Ay, pa-arrest siya.
May I hear you the word again?
Pina-report siya sa Senate.
Oh, I thought...
Subpoena siya, subpoena. Would it lead to his arrest?
Well, I'd like to ask you a question. What is the equivalent of the word subpoena?
Invitation.
Oh, yeah. It's not an order. You cannot order an ordinary citizen like me to compel me to report to you. For what? If I don't want. Well, if outside to the national interest that you should appear, if I begin to question you, what is the significance of that interest? Kaya pastor yan, kung gusto niya, hindi.
Kada so makalid ba niya sa contempt?
It could, because unreasonable refusal. So maybe the first is invitation, comes the subpoena. A subpoena is more or less like a subpoena of court. Same effect. It can compel your attendance. Pero ako naman, hindi niya, ang ayaw niya, ano mo gusto sa kanya? Wala mo na nakita na of national interest yung...
Mayor, another topic lang, Mayor.
Yes.
Our PNP right now seems to be involved in a lot of cases that the millions of pesos na yung nirap-out nila, yung planted, sinuha nila for 40 million na sinuha sila ngayon. At marami na pong trial na nangyayari dito. I've seen politicians po na makarami ng bodyguard dahil dito natapat from the tobacco. What is happening in our country today with regards to peace and conflict?
Well, national leadership should... Alam mo dito sa Pilipinas, wala naman talagang ambos araw-araw eh. Alam mo, pasikatan lang yan. Ako personally, I do not need. Pinipilit na nila yung pulis sa akin eh. Pero ako, I'd rather, if somebody has to die today, tonight, or tomorrow, mas mabuti pa ako kasi matanda na. Kaysa mga pulis, may pamilya pa yan, may mga anak pa. What the heck about going around with so many bodyguards kung hambog mo lang yan? Para sa takot lang yan? All you need is a gun, maybe, and 2 balls. Pag isa lang itlog mo, yan ang problema. O 3. Either isa or 3. May imbalance eh. 2, tama-tama lang.
Okay? Yeah.
Oh.
Ngayon, you mentioned ang paaprubahan naman sa PBC is na economic provision lang, okay sa ito. Dati, paaprubahan ka na sa Kongreso, iagin din sa PBC ito, suportahan ka nito kung kampanya baka paaprubahan ang pag-ratifika sa ito.
Come to think of it, you know what? Even if they will touch on everything there in the charter, yun sa Constitution, I will not mind. But make it progressive. Huwag lang mag-benefit tayong kami, hindi na ako, yung nakaupo ngayon. Huwag mong habain yung bituka mo. Gusto mo na a longer term for the next president would be good for this country, or there will be no limitations at all for as long as he remains to be a loyal and a good public servant. Wala man tayong problema lahat. Kung hindi naman santo, pero kung tao na matino na nakaupo dyan sa Malacanang, he can stay forever. Ang problema lang ganito, nag-iisip ako ng malalim. Problema kasi, si Jesucristo hindi nag-file ng certificate of candidacy. Wala, gusto mo talaga matino dyan, Jesucristo yan. Kung tao yan, pandor dito, pandor dito. The temptation to make money here and there. At may command. Yan ang bantayan ninyo sa inyong inihalal na mga officials.
Mike?
Yes, good evening, sir. Gusto na ako sundan ang mga questions sa status sa possession na to. When you said that Mindanao be separated from the Republic.
Vis-a-vis whether we are good or not. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, for it all, declare lang yan. Sabihin ko lang kasi sa ano na, look, you guys, when you think we think of your work there as a secretary or as a senator or congressman or whatever, think always of the Republic of the Philippines. Huwag ninyong pabor-paboran yan kasi hindi lang kayo ang Pilipino. Parang ano lang yung pitik lang yun na reminder, gentle reminder na, shape up because hindi pa naman tayo magkatribo lahat. Yan nga ang problema eh. Magpunta ka doon sa Ilocos, hindi ka maintindihan talaga kung taga-Bisaya ka. Kung taga-Bisaya ka, magpunta ka doon sa pulo, hindi tayo magkaintindihan. Kung taga Mindanao ka, magpunta ka Luzon, tulala ka palagi. Baluktot ang Tagalog mo o ang Bisaya ng Tagalog, mukhang Espanyol pakinggan sa tainga ko.
Another mayor, what do you make of the goings on sa Senate hearing under sa committee ni Senator Montiveros about kay Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, not only indicating him but also dragging along your name and the Vice President Sara?
Wala,
What do you make of
anong sinabi niya?
dragging, getting statements from alleged witness that you're somehow involved in gun exchanges, transactions involving firearms,
Involving
transactions involving firearms. Sa pag-iingon sa ka-witness that that particular witness saw you and the Vice President bringing that back for the firearms from the pastor.
Ako ang supplier ng firearm dito, hindi ako nanghihingi. Matagal na akong supplier ng firearm, bata pa ako.
Has the pastor reached out to you when the Senate hearing started, especially when witnesses starting to come out, alleging all these things against the pastor involving you and the Vice President, that we jump to the same answer?
You know, there are always, we never run out of silly or idiots in government. Let them be. Komportable sila dyan. O, komportable rin ako dito.
Sharon?
Uy! Si Mama pala ito.
Senator Montiveros has warned that Pastor Biboloy will be cited in contempt and will be arrested if he does not show up in the Senate hearing on March 5. You are his friend. You are Pastor Biboloy's friend, and you are a lawyer. What is your advice to your friend?
Get yourself arrested.
So he will not show up.
This is a free country. If you do not want to go there, get arrested.
You will ask him to cooperate.
I'll give him the free choice.
Can I go back to the Constitution?
Yes, what about?
You said a few minutes ago that you are comfortable with the presidential type of government.
President.
Although that you campaign for federalism and you run for president.
Yeah,
And you have
it does that. Let me correct you right there and then. It does not mean that it is federal, it is not presidential type.
Let me finish my question first. You said you are in favor, wag na natin palitan, naabutan ng lolo ko, naabutan ng ako ko. But in 2015, when you campaigned for the presidency, you pushed for a shift to change the constitution to shift to a federal system, right?
You're right.
Okay. But you had the first half term, you had a super majority. What even up to the end?
Look, it's just
Why did you not muster enough political will to get that shift to federal system?
to answer your last question. Because wala akong enough political will. Second, actually, there is not much different about a federal system being presidential. There's no incongruity there. Look at America. It's a federal union of federal states, United Nations. It's federal. It's presidential type of government. I do not see any Wala akong nakitang ano doon, problema. Pero,
Do you not regret that you were not able to do as you promised in 2015?
you cannot have your cake and eat it too. May ang Diyos may ibigay sa iyo, may hindi. So, hindi lahat ng kaligayahan na gusto mo makapkap mo sa mundong ito. There will always be disappointments.
And this was your big disappointment.
Well, I'm talking to you about life. Nothing's perfect.
Yung ano po, kanina,
Ayaw pagpo na to kay...
sinabi niyo rin that your call for Mindanao, independent Mindanao, which you did on January 30 in Mensing, you said it was just meeting.
Well, that was really... That was a legit dream of the old yung mga taga Mindanao. You know, because Mindanao is a frontier country. It is not inhabited by originals except the natives and the Moro people here. So, yung dream of separate, looking at a certain place like my father and mother migrating toward an island called Mindanao for a better future for the children. Yun ang dream. It has always the dream of some people to be independent. Pero if it causes a rupture in our entire system sa Republika, I will not go for it. I will not go for a forced carving out in Mindanao out of the Philippines.
Are you saying now that it was just a pity or a pitier?
I am not. I'm not.
There were no takers?
I'm not saying any different, really, actually.
Kasi wala naman, after you made the call, there were, of course, reactions that you cannot do.
Well, I said, sinabi ko,
So you're saying that now because
give us a better deal for Mindanao. Well, if you studied history, Mindanao has always been a poor relative vis-a-vis with the entire country. Ang Mindanao noon, the least for so many years, consistently the lowest in getting public funds for our structures. Kaya tayo pinaka-late nag-bloom. And that was the complaint. Kaya it fueled the revolution. It encouraged people, and some Christians joined the Moro people in clamoring for an independent Mindanao. Klaro yun eh, especially the earliest settlers dito. Na dumating na ang panahon na lang, maganda na ang road network doon sa Mindanao. Punta ka ng Hagonoy noon hanggang Rocky Road. Sa ice cream lang yan. Hindi yan pang gobyerno. Hindi naman talaga nahati. Because the influential leaders and even the national leader, president, has always been there. Para tayo na nakatsamba na sa panahon mo ba yan? Karoon tayo ng presidente dito. Pero ganon pa man, there was never really a radical change in my... I'll just be frank with you and everybody else. When I became president, there was never the slightest moment that I was thinking of placing the interest of Mindanao over and above of the entire needs of the entire country. Kung ano lang ang sabihin ng economic planners at ano lang ang sabihin ng mga Department of Highways and everything, at unahin muna natin ito because I am not as bright as anybody else. I might be a lawyer, good in memorizing. Hanggang dyan lang, memorize. Pero to be an enterprising thing about governance, malayo. I cannot claim. Kadili kaya may kay di ka pod mo undang tindog naman ko.
I think somebody asked, but you were not able to answer it earlier. The question was, are you going to Manila or
Prayer rally.
after another rally in
Of course not. What for?
So, the Cebu rally was the last?
Just a pretext just to go home to say the alam mo, Cebuano always yearns to see Survey. Any slightest excuse to be there. Pero sabihin ko just to be at the moment because it is demanded. Kaya,
So there's no schedule for now?
no schedule. If you are asking the question in terms of what would be in the future of this country and what would be your views or opinions if this would occur or happen or not. I'm retired. I would like to stay retired. I do not want to meddle in politics. Maski na sa mga anak ko, if they can carry the burden on their own, kampanya lahat na gusto ko magpahinga na. But, Color, maya ko lang sabihin sa iyo, 40 anyos na gud ako. And if you would want to be comfortable with the number, double it. And that's why.
Mayor, also yung last na update ni Congressman Alvarez sa IM on definition na after one.
Ako talaga, I cannot magprangka ako sa inyo. This is for all, and I would repeat it now and forever. I do not want my country dismembered. I do not want a part of my country taken away. I do not want my country to be disturbed physically, even the slightest. It goes for Luzon hanggang Pulo. Yung nagising ako sa mundong ito, Republic of the Philippines, for as long as I live, it would be the same Republic of the Philippines.
Were you saying a different thing, Mayor, last time when you said that you would want Mindanao to separate from Mindanao? You did not.
Sa kadang intrigadura ka yun. Separate. Usap mo siya magtiayon, kaya mag-separate. Hilong, diha. Panghadlok mo lang na. Paano? Para, yung na ka dito. Pas ni mo, magsikagyaw-yaw. Pag yun kasi yung bana, ikaw mo magyaw-yaw, biyaan ta ka. Wala na. lalabin ako. Ayaw nila, mas lalo ako. Mas matanda ako nila, buuang sila.
Even if you treat it as anti-share or anti-government, but people said it's time for Mindanao. People should start it all.
You can craft it the way you want, legislation, or we go into a deeper local autonomy. You can never do what you want. Let it remain a republic of the Philippines.
So no more talks about Mindanao, getting out of the Republic.
Yan lang ang problema. It's the distribution of the national wealth. And you know very well, lahat tayo, if you studied your history, lahat tayo, alam natin that Mindanao was really a poor relative of the national government. Ngayon lang ito, nakabawi tayo. Nung presidente ako, hindi ko nga sinabi na bigyan mo lamang ang Mindanao. Patas. Hindi mo naman sabihin na presidente ako, gusto kong bumawi na, o nagkulang tayo noon, ngayon panahon ng bumawi. That ain't the way of being a Filipino. Kung ano yung, what's good for the Huluhano, must be good for the Ifugao, must be good for the Tagalog, and must be good for the Visaya. Why? If you have to remain a republic, ganun talaga, you better adopt that kind of thinking. Hindi tayo pwede mag-isip-isip na mga Tagalog, Bisaya, or kalukuhan niya. Ngayon pa, katanda-tanda na natin, may mga anak na tayo, ngayon pa tayo mag-isip ng ganun. And, I'd like to, sabihin ko sa mga Pilipino, stop this separate. Na pagmulat ko sa mata ko when I was born, this was a republic. Ganun na. Huwag mong kunin baski kalahating hektarya yung Samal Island. Magkagulo tayo. Even if you take 1 hectare away from Samal Island, yung bayan ko, yan. Huwag mong galawin. Pag hindi, magagera tayo.
Mayor,
Listen to you when you said you want people to be educated for a day will come that Mindanao will be a separate country from the Philippine Republic. We got it wrong.
Sabi ko sa iyo, pang-atik lang yun. Ano ka na? kung hindi mo ganunin kasi yung mga taga-Maynila, parang sipain mo yung paa, adrip. Potang ina mo, hindi lang ikaw ang Pilipino, ha?
Nabuutan rin lang yun, pag marato.
So class lang so Mayor, and they took it so serious.
Nag-cool down sila ito.
Because of that.
Not because of a bluff, but because of a strong statement coming from a Filipino. Adre, hindi lang kayo ang Filipino. Lahat ang mga minuno natin nagpakamatay sa bayan natin. Do not.
So it's dead. Mindanao Independence Movement is dead. Okay.
Silly.
you still have another question, no?
If at all, kung mayroong mag-declare ng independent state, kung gusto lang nila, payag ako, Samal Island. Yan. Gusto na mag-declare ng independent Samal Island, sali na lang talikod para may sila, bakasyonan.
Mayor, still up to Mayor, yung drug addict issue kay President, ganun pa rin ba yung challenge mo kapag nag-test? Drug test training.
Drug addict issue.
Yung challenge mo po.
Ano?
Ay, still drug challenge ba?
Si Presidente, Wala akong sinabi na ganun. Mama, you have to, even if you kill me 1,000 times, wala akong sinabi na ganun. Taking a drug, pero kung sabihin mo, addict, wala akong sinabi na ganun. Patayin ako ni Marcos niyan. Maawa ka naman sa akin. Matanda na ako. Ano sinabi noon? If I can say it for to Marcos, I can say it for all. Ayaw ingnawa kay antibiotic na to o kay aspirin. They're all drugs. It's just nomenclature. Pero wala akong sinabi na patayin ako ni Marcos niya. Takot pa naman ako mamatay ng matanda na ako. Gusto ko pa mabuhay mga another hanggang mamatay si Kaduwaya. Magsabay kami.
Mayor, 8 months na lang po, Mayor, mag-election na naman. Marami sa kayo yung mga tao when you pushing you to run for Mayor.
Ayoko naman. Ayoko naman.
Political plans for 2025.
Let it anybody, not even from my family. You know, corny man pakinggan. Corny pakinggan. But if you count the number of years that my father was in public office, isali mo ako. Pati isali mo yung, idagdag mo yung sa mga anak ko. Masyado nang...
Okay, just
Maybe
one
it's
last...
high time na iba na naman.
Just one last question. That question would come from me. Okay? Mr. Mayor, you said something about our children's future. Inday Sara, in all the surveys, had been on the top. Most trusted, most approved, and her department, the Department of Education, has been declared as the most trusted government agency in the country today. As a father, what can you say about the performance of your daughter?
Well, I think that she's just following my record. Hindi lang na-record properly. Kasi si Kaduwaya kasi yung tikuha ng figures noon sa Manila eh. But I am proud that she's been doing good at public service. Taking into account that, my father has always been, for the longest time, the governor of even the city of Davao before. There was only one Davao, one province, one capital, Davao City. And we used to elect the governor of the entire Davao province and Davao City. So, ganon. At ako naman, I would like to thank you, although belatedly, I suppose. Salamat po sa mga tao for the number of years given to me as a rare privilege to serve my country as mayor, as congressman, and eventually as president. I just hope that hindi ako nagkulang sa tao. Pero ganun pa man, maski na pahabol na lang ito, ginawa ko talaga ang magagawa ko at wala akong ginawang kalungkuhan. Kailan?
Mayor, what's the update on sa
ICC? Sabi ko sa kanila, mag-usap na lang sila ng ICC rin dito. Total, magkapareho silang pangalan eh. Yes, you talk to each other, maybe you can understand.
Mayor, the support of the President is para ma-implement nila
No, ganito yan. I would like the President to seek the advice of his legal counsel. Kung ano yung sabihin niya sa mga abogado niya sa Malacanang, sundin niya. Ako, I can take care of my own. Kaya kung saan ba yung ICC na yan? Kaya pasalvage sa mong yawa mo. Ang pakialam nila. When my country was being eaten by drugs and everything, nandito ba sila? Putang ina nila. Sabi mo sa kanila, putang mo, Duterte, sabi mo, putang ina ninyo. Panahon na brihon natin dito, nagpatayan tayo dito, pulis ko dito, patay dito, patay doon, patayan tayo ng mga Pilipino. Saan itong mga putang inan to? Where were they? Yung kinakain ng mga anak natin ng droga. Hindi ang droga ang kumakain sa mga anak natin. Saan sila? Putang ina. Sabihin tatapos turuan pati kung anong sabihin nila. Sampalin ko sila. Totoo, kung may makita ako na foreigner magsalita sa akin sa harap na, pag hindi kita sinampal. Ano? Wala mang preso yan. Guilty ka agad. Did you slap this idiot of the associated whatever? No. Pakialam kayo ng pakialam, hindi naman kayo nakakatulong. Look, idiot, if you are not really an idiot because you are an idiot, sino ba naman gustong pumatay sa kapwa-tao niya? Kung may gusto man akong patayin kayo, kayong pumunta dito sa bayan ko. Noong mga minuno namin na walang alam, pumunta kayo dito, you occupied my country for so many years. Spain for 400 years, Americans how many years? And you talk like a shit. Tang ina niyo ba kung turuan? Talk about human rights. How many years of oppression? Nagtiis tayo sa mga kamay ng mga banyaga. Tang ina nila. Tapos kung magsalita ka no, look who's talking, ika nga. Mga natin turuan. Ako ba? Bakit ko patayin Pilipino? Kasi gusto ko pumatay ng puti. Sila yung may kasalanan, hindi yung Pilipino. Yung ngayon, kung Pilipino ka naman, and you're fucking with drugs, destroying the mga bata, ibang istorya yan. Sinasabi ko na nga, tsaka ako nag-warning. At ang warning ko, walang para-para. Wala akong qualified or condition. Huwag mong gawin niyang papatayin kitang putang ina mo. Lagi.
Last po, we're nag-kausap pa kayo ni Pastor Nicola in person recently at saka may idea pa kayo sa kanyang whereabouts kung nanikot pa siya sa Philippines or nakalabas na.
Si Pastor? Sabi ko sa Afrika ka muna matago. Kaya hindi ka mahalata doon. I really do not know. I do not want to. He's on his own. Alam mo naman, presidente ako, tapos, I started as a prosecutor, fiscal, mayor, president. I cannot afford to double with yung mga ganitong mga bagay na ito. So, alam naman niya, kaya niya, he has the resources and all. And he has a lot of brains to navigate his way. Paano niya magpaikot-ikot sa buhay.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor President. Thank you.
Salamat.
Ito na patay. Lagi patay na.
45.
March 15.
March 15. Leaving for Manila March 15, the following day. Ngayong March 15 ko alis. But tomorrow, by the way, 2 o'clock today, karong buntag, I'll be leaving for Manila, but I'll be back on Friday. And then leave for Manila again the 15th and the 16th. Kapag ako.
Huwag mo lang si Bong.
Ha?
Huwag mo lang si Bong.
Si Bong?
Unang-una, sabihin mo lang, just remind Rodrigo Duterte.
Okay, sige. Kuwatan ko lang ito.
Uli na sa kailangan kay patay.
Kamu magod kasi ito,
Oy, ako na lang sa daan.
ito agit ito eh.
Mayaw, sir.
Agitator talaga. Marunong magpagalit ng ano, kaya na...
Gwapo kayo mo sir.
Ha? Asa?
Bago ka pati na. Ako
Pati na ba ko tila-tina o?
Gwapo good.
Ay mo nang gawas ya.
Nalibak. Nalibak ka.
Hasta kilay pa.
Nalibak. Nalibak.
Ako, hay mo kayo nakita na ko.
Alam kang bago ka matanong. Road wide din